I have said many times before that Elder Scrolls Online is such an amazing MMORPG that's full of extra lore-friendly flavor spotted throughout the game. Just like any of the other games, this one has many absolutely weird and absurd characters in the world. They always have just random tasks they need done, and as a good dude at the realm, I personally help them all. But sometimes, you're left with regret. What's up, everybody? I was going to start a new playthrough as a Breton Warden to be lore friendly, but after this encounter, I think I need to show you this. In Elder Scrolls Online with the High Isle expansion, I made a new character and woke up on High Isle. As I woke up, a recognizable Jakarn was in front of me, and blah blah about his mommy who needs help.
Lady Arabelle DeVoe. Maybe you've heard of her. She's a famous investigator and author, diplomat too, which is why she's here. She runs in circles way above my station, but I owe her a debt that I'm trying to pay. Maybe you can help me do that.
I didn't care about any of that. Instead, I wanted to head to the city to join the Fighter or Mages Guild. The word around town is they have some cool perks if you join them. But on my way to the city, some schmuck was quivering with terror, so I stopped to speak to him. He seemed that he needed some help, and being a good dude out here trying to make a name for myself, I stopped and said, hey. Meet Moric Guidros, a Jesus cosplayer who is locally known to take care for sheep and some other animals. He claims he can understand the animals and they can understand him, but listening to him speak about his animals immediately screeches red flag.
Oh, my privet is without a doubt the most beautiful sheep on the island. Just ask anyone and they'll agree. A swell of Hadalids reside in this cave. They displayed such inner ugliness and took privet. I just heard her cries from inside. Even if my privet was just your typical sheep, which she is not, that would not excuse the Hadalids' rude behavior. I am an animal steward. I serve each of the creatures under my care. Whatever their needs may be, I attend to them. Many animals find their way to my home that deserve special attention. Privet was just such a sheep.
Brushing that aside, he has an issue. He says some creatures moved into a cave nearby and stole his favorite sheepers. Moric asks for my help to resolve this kidnapping, you know? I am left with two choices. Listen to the red flag and decline, or be a genuine good dude and help. I did just arrive here and am fresh into the world. And as a fresh-faced warden from High Rock, I suppose Southerners talk different, so considering that fact, I accept this task to save a helpless sheepies. Arriving at Bleak Rock or Break Rock or whatever rock, you could spot a dead adventurer next to some kind of dog monster. It's not far from the entrance, and it's a cool thing about ESO, these bits of detail within the world.
Gerald had been collecting crabs and mussels in Breakwater Cave for years, but after the Hadalids moved in, it was Gerald's turn to get his shell cracked.
The best part about adventuring is the mystery and beauty you find exploring. Anyway, after heading into the cave a bit, Moric has me checking out bone piles. Like, if your girlfriend was just kidnapped, they wouldn't be bones already. But I die of grass. Since sheep's blood is paying, I'm going to finish the bone piles and see what Jesus has to say.
I gave this to her as a present. Finding Privet's sash worries me. She'd never take that off. Unless she left it as a clue. She wants me to know she's here. The bones we found looked gnawed on, but none of them were sheep bones. So I feel confident Privet's still alive. What a horrible notion. You don't think they'd plan to eat poor Privet? How could anyone look into those sweet eyes and consider such a deed? Privet isn't food. She's a friend. But I must agree, very nasty behavior from my new neighbors.
On top of everything this man has said, the comment about looking into their eyes comes off too sexual. Moric's whole personality comes off like a fragile dude with abandonment issues. How he talks about other species like they should be civilized and socialized. It's just weird, but he paid me to do a job. I am Sorcerer, the Breton Warden. I seek clout and thighs wrapped around my face. And after following the trail Moric sent us on, we find the Alpha Dong Swinger. The fight was kinda tough, but since it was my first challenging opponent, I struggled a bit. And this whole situation is weird, and it feels like I am fighting in a love triangle, but I prevail.
sweet Privet, reunited at last! A cave exit is nearby. Come, Privet, let's get out of here. I must say, and I don't usually speak ill of anyone except goats, but those Hadalids were awful. Didn't even bother to explain themselves. I'm thankful you came along to help. And Privet tells me she appreciates you as well. They fell for her charms, obviously. Who wouldn't want my sweet Privet living with them? She brightens every room, even a moldy cave. Maybe those Hadalids never intended to eat her. Yes, that must be it. She was never in danger.
Of course he has to say Privet likes me. Hilarious he's just now coming to the realization that maybe the Hadalid spit roasted his sheep. It would explain his panicked behavior and bizarre need to find her alive. Much like a boyfriend after he finds out his girlfriend's at a frat party. But I killed what I needed to in that cave and I could finally get the oblivion out of here. And if you happen to find yourself in High Isle and don't like sheep bangers, I'll let you in on a secret. Here's where he lives. Moric lives to the east of the cave exit on a property that looks like his handiwork. This is the home of the weirdest person on High Isle, and my experience with him was very bizarre. I only hope my next adventure isn't with another weirdo, but who knows what's going to happen. If you still want to see what I encounter next, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm still willing to continue a playthrough if there is interest, but this is very fun. Shout out to Tamriel Tidbits for the High Isle video. They cover small details with a fine-tooth comb within Elder Scrolls Online. Give them a subscribe too, and have a good day, you good dudes of all kinds. Peace out.